primary duty of a Prime Minister, the overwhelming duty, is the protection of the state. And yet the only time in recent history that there has been an invasion of British soil was the invasion of the Falklands. And you recall what you said then, well, don't you?
I wanted there to be a UN brokered plan of a ceasefire at that time, which President Terry of Peru was trying to pursue.
You said that young, unemployed men were being sent to the South Atlantic to die in pursuit of a Tory plot.
What I wanted was a stopping of that war. I didn't want any young men, British or Argentinian or anybody else, to die in that war. And as
Did you
the
not
UN,
think the Argentines should have got out of the Falklands?
I don't think they should have gone in there, but I also think there should have been an opportunity to prevent that war happening by the UN, which was being attempted at that time.
So you do think it was a Tory plot, do you?
No, I think it was important.
Why did you say so then?
I think it was important that there should be a negotiated solution to that through the United Nations. That surely...
If you didn't believe it was a Tory plot,
Jeremy,
why
surely,
did you say you thought it was?
Jeremy, Margaret Thatcher made a great deal of the whole issue, as everybody could see at the time. I felt that she was exploiting the situation, but there has to be, at the end of every conflict, there has to be a peace process. So why don't we start with the objective of trying to get a peace process?
Looking back on it, you realise you were
use our
wrong,
councils through the United Nations to achieve
because
that.
it's quite possible that in a couple of weeks' time, if you're sitting in Downing Street, the Chief of the Defence Staff could come to you and say, we have eyes on a man in Iraq or in Syria or in Afghanistan who is plotting a bombing campaign in Britain. You have 20 minutes to make up your mind as to whether we take him out with a drone strike. Now, if you think, do you think that's a Tory plot as well?
I would want to know the circumstances, the evidence, and what would happen.
It's happened before.
And also what the effect of it would be on innocent civilians around. Because
you would be prepared to take such a decision,
listen,
would you?
You
would be prepared to take such a decision.
Taking somebody, killing somebody actually happened outside Parliament, what, a month ago, didn't it?
Yes.
And I think you have to look at all the evidence that's there. But you can't answer a hypothetical question without the evidence around it.
But it's not really hypothetical.
It's a completely hypothetical question.
Cameron and Jihadi John.
It's a completely hypothetical question. We have to look at the evidence that's there at the time.
You would be prepared.
We have to look at the evidence that's there at the time to make that fatal decision one way or the other.
Why did you describe the killing of Osama bin Laden as a tragedy?
Because I think he should have been arrested and I think he should have been put on trial. And he could have been.
You think that was a tragedy?
I think the whole Afghan experience is a tragedy, and I think he should have been put on trial.
See, what bothers a lot of people is the friends that you have made in your campaign, doubtless heartfully felt for peace. Like Hamas, for example. You know that Hamas have killed civilians, and yet you call them your friends.
It was inclusive language at a meeting in which I was promoting the idea of a two-state solution, in which I was promoting the need for dialogue between Israel and all aspects of Palestine, including Hamas, as well as including Fatah. I think to bring about a peace process, that is important. Do you know what happened last night in Tel Aviv? There was a very large demonstration of people wanting a peace process and a dialogue. I think those are people you've got to work with. You've got to work with people often you don't agree with and don't like.
You're happy to call Hamas your friends, despite the fact they kill
it was an inclusive piece
women and children.
It was an inclusive piece of language.